Hi. Over the last 20 months, I have placed well over 200 videos like this on the subject of retirement. And of course, lots of them would be fairly repetitive. How much can you put into the subject? But in this particular video, I'd like to talk about what I think is the main thing that will keep you, as you're watching this, and afterwards, of course, years after it, I hope, it will keep you happy and well and motivated right to the end of your life. If we look back, not just over our own lives, but of the whole of history, if you can imagine that, human beings going right back. They say the Aboriginals have been living in here in Australia for something around 40 to 50,000 years. Humanity itself is believed to go back at least 150,000 years. So what's this got to do with you as a retiree? Now think about it. For thousands of years, tens of thousands of years, we human beings lived in small tribal communities, 3 or 4 extended families living together in a group, hunting, fishing, doing everything together, growing old together as well. The elders in the tribe were generally regarded as those who were knowledgeable and would tell the stories. And it is from the stories that are told that our learning comes. It's only over the last probably 250 years or so that the average person has been able to read and write. Before that, it was verbal information passed down. And who was it passed down from? The elders, the olders. But over the last century or so, the oldsters, like ourselves, have been sort of shunted aside, as if our knowledge is no longer needed, our wisdom not important. It is very important. Trouble is, in the business world today, the word is new. Have a look at advertising on TV. If they don't put the word new in every so often, it's regarded as a failure. It's as if new is beautiful and young and old is decrepit and useless. That's the way it's been being put to us of late. But looking at your own life, you've had so many experiences. You've done so much. Now, whether you're a single person who's never had any children, or whether you are a person who's married and had lots of children, all of your experiences are unique. You have a lot to offer the world. A lot. A great deal. Are you able to do that? Certain things are required in retirement, as in all of life, but in particular in retirement, because now as our bodies become frailer and weaker, and they do, we can put off the inevitable, we can delay it, but we cannot delay it forever. So what are these things that we need to look after? Number 1, our physical health. So important. You don't retire to an armchair and a walking stick and a rocker unless you really have to. Now this can be brought upon us by sheer laziness. We have legs. The good Lord gave us these big muscles in our legs so that we can walk on them, not so we can poke them under desks and things, sitting back in armchairs, folding them comfortably as we watch TV. We need to exercise, and one of the best exercises, the most natural exercise for us human beings, is to walk. So get out there and walk. If you're coming up for retirement, start your walking regimen now. Expand on it. Increase the distance. Increase the speed maybe. Or the route so that you climb up and down more stairs. Develop a fitness which will carry you long into the time after you retire. I've said this almost ad nauseum. I've been retired now 29 years. Quit my paid job at 59. I'm now 88. Now, that's only about 18 months away from being 90. I think about age. I thought I'd mentioned this before. 20-year-olds think 40-year-olds are old. 40-year-olds think 60-year-olds are old. 60-year-olds think 80-year-olds are old. And 80-year-olds know that 100 years of age is old. But you can keep fit. Exercise. I go to the gym twice a week. I take a long walk every so often. Every 2 or 3 days I'll walk maybe for half an hour at a reasonable pace. I do my yoga stretches. Lie down on the yoga mat, sit-ups, touch my toes, do all those sort of things. Keep flexible. So the physical side of it's important. Your body is what you're experiencing your life through. If it's full of aches and pains, endeavour to get rid of them. And don't forget, if you're on medication, take it. Go and see the doctor regularly. Go and see the dentist regularly. Go and see the skin specialist if you live in Australia to make sure you don't have any deadly melanomas growing. All of these things are important. So physical health, very important. What's next? Mental importance. We see it so often. People say, oh, I just can't remember anymore. I don't know what's happening. I came up to this room and I've forgotten what I was. And they talk themselves and worry themselves into a mind which is not as good as it used to be. All what's happening is the recall has got slower. That's all. The recall has got slower. The short-term memory. Nothing is forgotten. Nothing that you have ever learned and has gone to your long-term memory is ever forgotten. This can be proved. If you go to a hypnotherapist who can regress you back to a certain age, you will remember. Every single detail is there somewhere. So don't talk yourself into saying, I've got a bad memory. Because the more you say that, the more your subconscious, which only answers yes to everything you say, will say yes and keep providing you with it. And so your memory will get worse because you've talked yourself into it. So that's another point. Physical, mental. Emotional? What about emotional? Are you still reacting to the same old stimulus? Somebody cuts you off in the traffic and you wave your arm and give them the finger and all that. You should be over that by now. The older you get, the more tolerant you need to become. After all, there's more restrictions on you now than there used to be. Accept the restrictions and then act from there. So emotional intelligence, very important. What's the next? What's the next of this foursome? Probably the most important. Your spiritual beliefs. Now, I'm not going to talk, I'm no Bible banger. I'm not going to give you biblical quotes from any religion, even though I do occasionally sometimes in these videos. No, what I'm talking about is the spiritual being that you are, the real you, the I am. I am, with nothing else added behind it. What you've added behind it, you've made up. That's a mental construct, a mental and emotional construct. Why are you here, you might be asking? And where is this video going anyway? It's going to what I think is the most important thing in your life, and probably in all lives. Your purpose for being here. Your purpose, generally speaking, is to experience life. Experience it. Learn things from it, grow from it. But more than that, help others do the same. Because there is a divine dichotomy, hard to believe, hard to describe. And it's this. The divine dichotomy is we are all separate and we are all one. We're all separate and we are all one. Our logical mind can't work that out. But if you use a little analogy, and it's been used many times, imagine an ocean, a wind-blown ocean. The waves are coming up. And imagine each wave thinks it's conscious and separate from the rest. And that's how we see ourselves. But deep down underneath, we're all made of the same stuff. We're all of the same great ocean. So that's the divine dichotomy. We appear to be separate, and our senses tell us we're separate. Everything seems to tell us that, and yet we are all one as well. So what does this bring us to? I think we all have a divine purpose, a reason for being born. And when we work towards that reason as to why we were born, then more happiness, more meaningfulness, more purpose will flow into our lives. And in that way, we will be working towards not only helping ourselves, but helping others to live long, fruitful, purposeful retirements. I hope you got something out of this one.